What's up, vintage comic fans? Fens the Spook coming at you once again on a Monday night. Just have a quick little purchase video here. Actually got these off YouTube, as strange as that may sound. It was another YouTuber named Windy City Comics. I'll put his channel link in the description below. Real cool dude. I don't know if he's a dealer or if he's just a collector, but he's willing to. He was willing to work with me and let me get these books at I think an excellent price. We'd been talking about checkerboards, after I told him that I collect them, and he showcased these books, which were his, in a video. And I just realized I didn't have any of them. They were books I wanted, kind of the titles I'm actually trying to look for the most because they're a little bit harder to find. And yeah, we came to a real nice deal. I wish I actually had the packaging because it was really well done. But I opened it like an ape, so unfortunately I can't really showcase that. But yeah, kudos, man. Thanks for the deal. The Fox and Crow here, this is Fox and Crow 97. These books here, all of them actually, all 7 of these kind of combine two things that I really like. The DC, I don't want to say kids titles because I don't know, I'm not into kids comics, but I just like the fact that they're real colorful and interesting. I mean, I'm not typically into kids comics, I should say. I mean, sometimes some of the old Archies are cool, but that's what these remind me of. And they're checkerboards, and I like those. This particular set is Fox and Crow. Fox and Crow is like a Tom and Jerry style kids thing. The Crow is always kind of messing with the Fox and getting over on him like that. The feature over here is Stanley and his monster. That actually will grow literally and proverbially to take over the book. And you'll see it in the next few covers. It goes from this small little box to half the book, kind of literally dominating it. And around issue 109, I think, they just switch over and it becomes Stanley and his monster, an entirely new title. But don't know who the artist or the writer are in terms of familiarity. I mean, I looked at their names on the inside and I didn't recognize them, but that's probably more my ignorance than them being obscure or anything. But yeah, like I said, these are tough to find. Not that they're scarce or anything, but dealers don't take them to cons. Just like I said with the Angel and the Ape, they they're only going to bring. It's understandable because they're only going to bring what sells, and this stuff is probably not the kind of stuff that sells frequently. So this is kind of an eBay book, online book, trying to get it like that. And so it's nice to get a little collection of them all together. This particular book has an interesting defect. I wouldn't typically showcase a defect like this, but I found this to be pretty cool. In the bottom right, you can see hopefully paper. The paper sticking out of the book on the bottom right. Typically that's a bad sign when you see that. It would mean, that there's a page loose inside, or maybe a staple has popped and pages are sticking out, or just there's something wrong inside. Paper's not where it's supposed to be. It's on the outside. It's getting torn up and it's not good. But what happened in this case is that book is actually, it's page 1, and it just hasn't been cut properly. At the factory, they didn't cut the page properly, and so there's just scraps of it sitting outside the book, which give it that appearance of kind of being really beat up and ugly. But I find it kind of an interesting defect, quote unquote. I like that about the older books. Sometimes the defects are somewhat unique and give the book a little bit of character. But yeah, so there's Fox and Crow 97. Here you see, again, like I said, the Stanley and the monster has come to dominate the entire cover. It's taking over the whole right side rather than just the little square. And it's kind of strange. You'll see it in the next few titles too. This ghost monster theme must have been just really popular at the time in 66, 67. The Archie comics also have some kind of monster themed, and in the fun vein in that time period as well. And that's another thing I like about them. They're kind of monster covers, I suppose. The only artist I know that's famous with this line is Mort Drucker. He did a few toward the very end covers. So I don't have any of those, unfortunately. But yeah, that's cool. Fox and the Crow, always cool. This is number 100. Always cool to have a number 100 collection. Some guys actually just go after 100s. I don't particularly do that, but they are a little special. But yeah, so there's the Fox and the Crow. Again, the Stanley and the monster kind of almost coming to the top of the book. It's there before the Fox and the Crow. And if you look on the inside, that actually is the case. The Stanley and the monster comic comes first. The only other thing I'll really say about this book is there's a lot of ads in it, which kind of tells you that it's for kids. A lot of Saturday morning cartoons, a lot of check out our giant-sized Batman and stuff like that. A lot more ads than there typically are in books of this time. I just noticed that a buddy and I were looking through it, and he just said, like, gosh, man, this whole thing is just practically ads, and it really is. So they were doing the Saturday morning cartoon marketing even then. The next couple are The Adventures of Jerry Lewis. Actually, the book was The Adventures of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, I believe, but at some point it switches over. Again, I believe this book started in the 1950s. What's cool here is that it's a Bob Oxner book, the same guy who does a lot of these teen books, Angel and the Ape. He does Bob Hope, which you'll see next. So I like that. Again, it is a monster cover, a very prolific theme of this time period with these type of books. Real strange stuff. What's kind of interesting here is that Neal Adams does a few of the covers and interiors toward the end of the run. I don't know which issue numbers they are, maybe like the last 5 or 6. It's in the Overstreet, but I always thought that was cool that Neal Adams actually put a few covers on. I don't have any of those, unfortunately. I'd be showcasing those here tonight as well. So that's Jerry Lewis 94. Here's Jerry Lewis 96. Another monster cover, as you can see. Kind of strangely done. I like the gray tone. It's not a gray tone cover, I shouldn't say that, but I like the fact that there's a good splotch of gray over there on the left. It's interesting. They don't really usually do kind of dead color covers like this. So kind of a strange one. Again, more Bob Oxner art, which is always cool. And it's a checkerboard, which is frankly the best. Here we get to the Bob Hopes. We have Bob Hope 99. Again, notice a monster cover. And then again, these are all different titles. So this was just something they did that seems to be something they did frequently on these books. And it's, again, that's something I just really like about them. Bob Oxner art here as well. And also here, Neal Adams doing a few in the end. He does the last 4 of Bob Hope, I think. Probably my favorite cover here. You probably tell why. It's I like the Go-Go Dancer covers, or whatever they're called. And again, they still squeeze the monsters down here in the bottom. But anyway, so that's it. That's all 7 of them. A great deal. Some cool checkerboards, some off the beaten path stuff. Real happy with that. So like, favorite, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys want to do. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in the particular. Here in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll probably do a few interior books if I can figure out how to get a good camera angle on it, kind of show you the interiors on one book at a time or something like that. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me.